All right, gotta go. I'm an interview. Sorry about that, man.
No problem, man. How do
You hear me?
I hear you perfectly.
There you go.
There we go.
There we go. Love it. Thanks for taking the time, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Let's officially introduce it here. All right. Hey, guys, and welcome to the Nouveau Riche Podcast. So I'm excited about this one, for real. David Meltzer. How we doing, man?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing really, really fucking good.
Nice. I want to change your t-shirt, man. I got a new Nike slogan. Do it now, not just do it.
That's a perfect one.
Yeah, do it now. That's the Meltzer Nike logo.
Send me that one. I'll wear it. Love it. Hey, to start it off, I know your story's all out on the internet. I don't want to waste time on that. I want to go directly into what's important for the listeners, what's important for me. I want to know what David Meltzer would do if he was in my position. I'm 16 years old, don't really like school, like building my network, building the podcast, but don't really have a vision. So what's something, how did you find it for yourself?
Yeah, so what I would do is, number one, be more interested than interesting. School may not be the best place to be more interested than interesting, but
right.
You want to be the most productive and accessible person that you can. You want to provide the most value that you can,
mm-hmm.
and be able to access, are you kidding me? Be able to access, what you want as quickly and as rapidly and accurately as you can. The other thing that you want to do is you want to work hard.
Right.
And so, working hard means sacrificing. Working smart means learning from others and having mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
And working long means do not try to please others by finishing things or doing things at the time frame that other people expect you to do them. You should focus in on the productivity and accessibility of what you're doing and the acceleration and growth that you're having. The cool thing about being 16 years old is it may take you 10 years to get to 25% of where you want to be. You're only 26 years old, but acceleration and growth, it'll only take you 5 more years at 31 to be 50% of the way there. Then only take you 2.5, right? So by 33.5, you'll be 100% of the way where you want to be. But the cooler thing is, in 7/8 of a year, you'll be 200% of the way. In 7/16, you'll be 400. 7/32, you'll be 800. By the time you're 51, like me, you'll be Jeff Bezos. You'll be the biggest character on the internet, monetizing things with a great capacity through the mentors that you continually have, the experience, situation, knowledge, relationship capital, and more importantly, you'll be able to help so many people in the world because you played hard, smart, and long.
That's it. That's a great answer. Love that. What's a skill set you would develop if you were 16 again in this time?
Yeah, there's 4 things that I look at. First is I would develop my values. I truly understand what my personal values are, my experiential values, my giving values, and receiving values. So I look at those 4 values. For me, they're gratitude, which gives me perspective, forgiveness, which gives me peace, accountability that gives me control, and inspirational value that allows me to consistently work on the interference that exists between me and the most powerful source of everything that exists in me and other people, of how all that energy flows through me for others to get what I want. The second thing that I'd work on is asking. The biggest mistake that I've made is, I didn't have the 2 key questions in life. Number 1, how can I provide value? And then 2, most importantly, can you or do you know anyone that can help me? Learning to ask is a great skill. It allows you to expand and connect and truly accelerate and grow. And then the third thing I would have taught myself is to be a student of the calendar. Studying time is so important, understanding the affinity of time, focusing on acceleration and growth, productivity and accessibility by what I do in person, what I do on the phone, what I do via email, and what I do via media, radio, print, TV, and social media. Also understanding the distinction of content to media, meaning that my true activities, ones that I get paid for, then are amplified and perpetuated through digital media. But the content is still king. The ideas are still king. My mindset is still king. If I'm not focused in on that content or productivity and accessibility that I have, if I'm amplifying bullshit, all I'm going to get is bullshit. I need to amplify the truth. I have to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential, my truth. And then finally, like your t-shirt says, man, do it now. I could give my young self a piece of advice, I ask myself one question every day: can I do it now? And two, if I can't, put it into a do it now repository, a folder somewhere where I can go ahead and prioritize by what's important first, and then delegate what's urgent after that.
Right. Right. Yeah. Big one. Love that. What's when you were starting out, or I guess that's still a thing. Like this age, I want to keep it at this age. A lot of my listeners are like 16, 25, something like that.
Yeah.
What's the thing, like chasing girls and partying and all the temptations that come at you? How do you deal with those? How do you like prioritize what's important? And how do you like deal with those temptations?
I wish I was disciplined enough not to party when I was your age through 25, but I wasn't. I wasn't. But what I was disciplined in doing was doing the most important things first, so that I could enjoy learning about how to party, how to socialize, learn about the destructive nature of drugs and alcohol to my being, learn for myself, right, without anyone telling me. But for example, when I was in law school, I was 22 years old. I would study till midnight, then party till 4 a.m. But I got my studying done when I was sober, where, so many other kids get high, study high, end up with D's and F's. I was a, very, very, very good academic student as I got older, always prioritizing what was important. I always worked out. I always studied hard, but I partied hard too. And until I got older, I didn't realize the cumulative effect of partying. I didn't realize what I was doing to create interference or corrosion to the connection of the most inspirational thing. I didn't understand because I was young, and in my ego-based consciousness, I was insecure. I needed the acceptance and approval and love of other people. I wanted everyone to love me.
Of course.
Until I was 40, I really gave a shit what other people thought. Now I take advice from other people and I listen to what other people say, but I don't give a shit, right? I'm taking advice. I'm taking the best pieces of advice, but I'm not interested in other people stealing my joy. I'm not interested in manifesting what other people want for me. I'm not interested in being a copy of what other people think. I want to think on my own. I want to expand on my own. I want to connect directly to the quantum field that exists, that holds everything for everyone. I want to be my own person. And I'm very accepting in the fact, even I got 3 kids between 15 and 25. I got 1 9-year-old, but, I teach them to, moderation in all things, do what's most important first, but go ahead, learn about partying, enjoying girls, alcohol, drugs, learn about those things. Don't overdo it. And you will come to the same conclusion that I did, I assume, if you are a true entrepreneur, that drugs and alcohol are an interference, a corrosion to that which you want. And that if you want to put bad things into your body, you're creating a resistance to what you want. But you need to learn that for yourself. You need to experience for yourself. Just be very careful. Ask for help. Do what's legal. Do all the things that you can in order to be safe. But it's something that I can't tell you what it's like to have a kid. I can't tell you what it's like to go to college. I can't tell you what it's like to do a lot of things. You got to learn for yourself. But I can't guide you in certain disciplines, moderations, and perspectives that will keep you safe and allow you to accelerate the learning curve so that you can maximize your potential. Does that sound fair?
Definitely got that. Yeah, man. That's a big one. How'd you find like that need? I don't know. I like monitoring myself, and I'm looking at what I like and what I don't like and that kind of shit. I see for myself, like when I'm around people and it's not even partying, just being around people, being around friends, that makes me feel good, but it's not productive. So how do you find that balance in that? Because I still have that need, but I want to do build my brand, build my business, everything. How's that something you worked out for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the faster you want to succeed, the more sacrifices you have to make. Right. Definitely surround yourself with the right people, the right idea. Be a little bit more aggressive and interested in finding more people like you, because you can overlap what you want, meaning find more people that want to be entrepreneurial like you, so that you can hang out with people that you like, that make you feel good, that you can, while you're hanging out and maybe partying, you can be talking about business or a podcast or a book or speaking or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you see on your future. And that's what I started doing. You know, I started surrounding myself with the people that can help me expand, that are much smarter than me, and hanging out with them, having a really good time with them. I've done more business, you know, over a party
Mm-hmm.
than I've done during the day. You
Right.
know, I'm surrounded. I just don't overdo it. You know what I mean? I'm fine. I have a joke. You know, one martini's too little, two martinis too many. So I'll stick to too little.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a good time. I go out with people that I want to learn from. I ask a lot of questions. I'm more interested than interesting. I
Right.
ask for help a lot from the people that I want. I ask, you know, for what I want, but I also offer a lot of value and see how I can be of service to other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole asking thing, it's a big one, definitely. Yeah, man. What how did you find what truly fulfills you? Because that's a thing most of people struggling with at this age.
Yeah. So one of the benefits and one of the things that I teach is learn to love what you do,
Mm-hmm.
right? I believe that you're never truly going to love what you're doing. You got to learn to love it, right? You got to learn to find the light in everything that you do. You got to learn to be aggressive about enjoying the consistent everyday, persistent without quit pursuit of your potential, whether it's taking out the trash, doing your homework, talking to your friends, creating a podcast, creating a business, making money, loaning money, whatever you may do, you need to learn to love it. And that's a skill.
Right.
And so by utilizing gratitude, empathy, accountability, and effective communication, those are four great tools to create a perspective, to learn to love what you do. So
Mm-hmm.
when someone gives you a task, the first thing that I do is look and see, what is it that I'm going to love about this? What is it that I can find? The same thing with my relationships, right? I don't dwell on the negative things with my relationship with my mom. I'm 51 years old, and I guarantee you I still have the same relationship with my mom that you have with yours when you were 16. She
Right.
still worries about me, tells me what to do, has her opinion for everything. But
It
I
never changed.
look for, put faith in what I want from my mom, all the love, support, confidence, all the things my mom gives me. I put faith in that, and I
Right.
learn to love my mom and give her a consistent communication every day for a minimum of 1 minute a day. Because I know that 1 minute a day of consistent communication and love with my mom, putting faith in what I want, is worth more than, 10 hours on a weekend. And it'll
Right.
mean more to her, and it's a lot more efficient and effective. And
Mm-hmm.
she's there to give me advice. Do I take all the advice? No, because just because someone loves me doesn't mean they give me good advice.
Big
But
one.
I'm thankful for anyone that cares enough about me or for me, teachers, administrators, coaches, parents, aunts, uncles, friends, siblings. I appreciate everyone that gives me their advice, because obviously they care a lot about me to give me that advice,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't take it. I treat it like a handful of sand. I only keep the kernels or the nuggets of advice that I think will expand and accelerate according to my values and my aspirations and my objectives. But I don't resent those people for giving me that advice. I simply say thank you. I try to understand their advice, and then I pray for their happiness, whether I take that advice or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good one. Yeah, man, that's big. That's big. How did you like find that for yourself? Like prioritizing whose advice to take, who's not, and not giving a fuck about people who don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
How did
it's
you, yeah,
called
find that
it's
for yourself?
called the yeah, it's called the dummy tax.
Right.
So, that's why I tell you, go ahead, figure out the partying yourself, right? I can't tell you not to party. I
Mm-hmm.
can't tell you to party. I'm gonna figure it out. Here's the things to look for, etc. So when
Right.
anything new happened for me and I took advice, I would seek counsel from those people that sit in the situation that I want to be in, and
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, I got this piece of advice. What would you do? And they'll tell me, well, I sit in the position you want to be in order to get to this position. I think that's good advice, or I think that's bad advice, or I think that partially is good advice, partially bad advice. And then I go ahead and assess the situation. But that's where leveraging and asking is so important, is that we're all connected. The tree has no branches. One tree would not go to war against another tree. So you need to figure out for yourself, by asking for that help and finding people that sit in the situation you want to be in, asking for advice, understanding the advice, praying for people's happiness, holding on to the kernels and nuggets that you want in order to expand and accelerate at the fastest rate that you can to get what you want rapidly and accurately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big man. How do you stop giving a fuck about what these people say? Like they all give you
Oh,
advice. How do you stop caring about it?
I'm still working on that, my dear friend. I'm 51 years old,
Mm-hmm.
3 times your age plus 3 years.
Right.
I still work on it. The way that I deal with it, I believe in two mindsets. Number one, I want to find my joy at the beginning of the day. My first mindset is simply to find the focus of being happy, finding through meditation. For me, it could be for anything,
Love that.
walking dogs, exercise. But, my first mindset is the first action I'm going to take is towards peace, love, joy, and truth.
Right.
Therefore, the rest of the things that happen during the day are not actions, they're reactions. So I have to have mindfulness of how I'm going to react to others. And so I don't allow them to accelerate me into ego-based consciousness that need to be right, that need to be offended, that need to be angry, frustrated, separate, inferior, superior, guilty, resentful. I don't go to any of those places. If I feel that way when somebody gives me their opinion or their advice and they don't make me feel good, I tell myself I'm not going to let them steal my joy. I'm going to go back to the place of peace, happiness, etc. And I don't care. I'm going to go to the place that I know I'm expanding and accelerating and getting what I want. I'm not going to let that bother me. And the more that I practice it, I will tell everybody here, if you want to practice something, practice ending fear in your life, right? Fear of what other people think of you, fear of what other people say to you, fear of what other people want for you. Practice ending fear. You want to practice every day, practice ending fear.
Right. That's cool, man. I wanna talk about mentors, about networking, that side of things. A lot of people like making noise in the marketplace and saying they're the shit, but most of them are not. Like the people like you with the real experience, with the real money. What do they like? What do they want in a mentee? How do you get in touch with the real ones?
I look for people that ask, right? I create a system that I try to mentor via my videos, via seminars, webinars, speeches, executive coaching, business advisory program. Everything that I do is meant to mentor, accelerate other people so that we can build a universe that has more happy people than not. That people are happy every day, not all day long, but they're working and practicing to end fear. So the best way to do is to be more interested than interesting. Find people that sit in the situation that you want to be in, people that are real, not people that are selling off stage, not people that are at a lower vibration or frequency than you, but elevate your frequency, elevate your vibration. Look for people that you look up to that sit in a situation, not people that are taking pictures in front of Bentleys and Rolls Royces, but people that could own them but don't, right? Real people that live for full, purposeful, passionate lives, that live to make money, help people, and have fun, allow things, and live in a world of more than enough of everyone. And when you find those people, it's the biggest compliment when you ask them for help. And whether they help you personally or find help for you, those are the real winners. And you got to keep on just asking and asking and asking to find those right mentors. You should always have at least 3 mentors for different things that you want to work on. And, if you want to be a great ballerina, I'm not your mentor, but I'm sure I could help you find a mentor that's a great ballerina. You want to do a podcast, I might be able to help you a little bit. I have one of the top podcasts in the world. I know a thing or two about that, and I'd be happy to help somebody. So go ahead, find those mentors. Go ahead, be confident that you're giving them a huge compliment by asking for help. And you're made by the people that say no to you. Who cares if you have to ask 10 people to find one great mentor? Who cares?
No, that's a big limiting belief. Like asking people, that's something most people don't want to do, because it's like, I don't want to bother them and shit. But that's a big one. That's cool. Love it.
Change your life, man. The people that get ahead ask. I had a great football player, played for about 3-4 teams: Minnesota, New Orleans Saints, and of course the San Diego Chargers. A guy named Bensie Glenn, and the greatest wisdom he ever gave me is he used to always say, "Man, Dave, you don't get unless you ask." And that's including the universe, man. You don't get unless you ask.
Why would they help me? Why would they?
Huh?
Why would the people help me? Well, if I'm down to deliver value straight away, like.
I'll tell you why. Because we're here to give. Everybody loves to give. They love to feel good about themselves by giving. Nothing makes us feel better than giving what we have. That's why I like to have a lot of things. That's why I'm grateful for so many things. The more that I have, the more I can give. The more forgiveness I have, the more forgiveness I can give. Right? The more money I have, the more money I can give. The more time I have, the more productive and accessible I am, the more I can give. So when someone comes to me like you and says, "Hey, Dave, can you help me with this?" I immediately am complimented. I feel complimented. Wow, this person thinks highly of me. They want me to help. And then I create a downstream so that I can help you efficiently. That's why I create rules like my 5-20 rule, where I only keep my phone calls to 5 minutes. My meetings and interviews, I keep to 20, so that during the day I can take, 60 phone calls and 20 meetings in a day, where most people can't do that in a month or 2 months, right? I live my life in the exponential world of infinity, where I'm twice as productive minimum every day. I work 16 productive hours, and I work twice as efficiently, which takes me to 32 productive hours in a day. And then I work twice as statistically successful. So I get a minimum 64 hours of productivity a day. And I don't believe in work. I believe in activity I get paid for. So I'm looking for activity I get paid for, or is relative to what I get paid for. 64 hours a day. That's 8 days, 8 full days of productivity in one day, 7 days a week. That leaves me at 56 productive days a week. 56 productive days a week. That's 2 months. That's 2 months. And if somebody's only working 5 days, that's literally 11 weeks. 11 weeks plus 1 day. It's almost, if you take vacation time, it's basically every week for me is 3 months of productivity, of activity I get paid for. And you do that over 10 years, people think you're successful because you're smart.
Right.
And man, I just beat you with math.
That's
and I'll teach you to beat other people with math as well. I wish somebody would have taught me when I was 16. I'd be far, far, far ahead of where I am at 51.
That's it. Love that, man. Appreciate it. That's a big takeaway. I appreciate it. I know we're short on time. I have one more question for you. What's the in the mindset? What's one thing you need to possess to getting to that $100 million mark or something? What's the one thing?
Sacrifice.
That's it.
Right. Those people that are willing to sacrifice, those people that are asking, student of the calendar, to get to your first million and beyond, it just takes that sacrifice. You have to do more. When I got to my first million, it took me 9 months. People thought I was smart, but I sacrificed to get there. I sacrificed. I went to school, got a scholarship. I went to law school, top of my class. I had many opportunities and options. I took the options that paid the most money. I had a job that was at plan, about $250,000 a year. I was far younger than everybody. I had a smaller territory, no relationships, no skills, no job, $100,000 in law loans. And I just sacrificed. I worked 10 years of productivity in 9 months. So although other people were so impressed because I made my first $1 million 9 months out of law school, I beat everybody with math. If you think about it, I was actually far below plan. I was only at $100,000 a year for 10 years. I just worked 10 years in 9 months, right? And so I beat you with math. Learn the math, reverse engineer how many cold calls it takes, how many doors you have to knock, how many rejections you get. Learn a perspective, love no. Just realize, man, what if I told you were only 25 no's from getting what you want? How excited would you be after 5 no's? How excited would you be after 15 no's? Think how ecstatic you would be after 24 no's, where everybody else's perspective is, man, that guy doesn't quit. That guy's never going to get there. Oh, yes, you will get there, because I guarantee you one thing, every single no puts you that much closer to a yes. Just keep that perspective, man. Learn to love what you do. Sacrifice as much as you can, and you'll make more than $1 million faster than anybody you know.
That's it. Love you, man. Thanks so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing my content. Don't forget, follow me at David Meltzer. Just go ahead, David Meltzer on LinkedIn, Google, YouTube. Does not matter. David Meltzer, David Meltzer. Get all your friends. I want to help young people get rich, help people, and have fun.
Appreciate it. We'll keep in touch. Thank you so much.
Anytime, my brother. Thank you. Take care.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.